now we can start. Guess we're just gonna jump right into this and do it. I really want crumble cookies right now, but that is not what this video is about. Hi guys, my name is Kristiana, and I really hope that my microphone is on right now. I have been advocating for mental health online for a long time. Some of you who know me may know that I have obsessive compulsive disorder, and I was diagnosed with it, I think I was in 6th grade. But when I graduated from high school, it got a lot worse and I really struggled, and I ended up going to an outpatient intensive treatment for it. I'll link their website below. They're awesome. It was called the Gateway Institute, and they really helped me a lot. My OCD didn't go away, but I learned how to manage it and cope with it, and it helped me learn how to still find enjoyment out of my life while dealing with such a terrible mental illness. So that was back in end of 2015, beginning of 2016. Now we're in 2019, and I am here making a video about bipolar 2 disorder, not to be confused with bipolar 1 disorder. That is not what we're talking about today. We're talking about bipolar 2 disorder, okay? Got it? Good. They're different. I know that can be a little bit confusing. The difference, from my understanding, between bipolar 1 and bipolar 2 is bipolar 2 is categorized by having more of a depressive episode. So that's more what you see in bipolar 2, and you don't get full-blown mania. Now, I'll talk about what mania is in a second. You get hypomania, which is a toned-down version of mania. Now, in bipolar 1, you get full-blown mania. But that can go all the way into having full-blown delusions and psychotic episodes. That is basically what bipolar 1 is categorized around, those full-blown mania episodes, where bipolar 2 is more about the depressive episodes. Okay, you got that? Just to get like a few terms and stuff out of the way, I just want to be specific so nothing is like missaid, miscategorized. So let me search what mania is. Okay. Mania, extremely elevated and excitable mood usually associated with bipolar disorder. Hypomania, a mood state characterized by persistent disinhibition and elevation. Symptoms may include risky behavior, unwanted thoughts, etc. Depressive episode. A major depressive episode is a period characterized by the symptoms of a major depressive disorder. That wasn't really helpful. Bipolar 1. A person affected by bipolar 1 disorder has at least one manic episode in his or her life. A manic episode is a period of abnormally elevated mood and high energy accompanied by abnormal behavior that disrupts life. Most people with bipolar 1 disorder also suffer from episodes of depression. Bipolar 2 disorder. A type of bipolar disorder characterized by depressive and hypomanic episodes. Why am I throwing all these terms around? I'm making this video for a purpose. About a month or two ago, was diagnosed by my psychiatrist with bipolar 2 disorder on top of my obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, when I found out that I had this disorder, I didn't know much about it. It was weird. He was like asking me questions. He's brought it up before, saying he thinks I might have it, and he wanted me to try mood stabilizers. I never went for it. After I had my son, I was at a point of postpartum, like, I really wasn't feeling good, so I was like, okay, hey, I'll try the mood stabilizers. He asked me some questions to see if I was still sounding like I needed them. Apparently I did. He diagnosed me, didn't say much else, just said, these will help your mood, and that's it. So I left the office kind of feeling confused. The first thing that I do when I'm confused is I go onto YouTube and I search for whatever it is that I'm trying to learn more about. In this case, it was bipolar 2 disorder. I came across a TED Talk and maybe 2 or 3 full videos, but besides that there wasn't really a lot. And to me that was surprising because when I dealt with my obsessive compulsive disorder, there were a lot of videos and there was a lot of support online for that type of thing. Now for bipolar 2, I'm still learning about it and I don't know everything. I still question if I even have it, but every time that I listen to a video or hear the symptoms, I'm like, yeah, that basically sounds exactly like me. So it was kind of one of those things where it wasn't explained to me, and I want to make this video for anyone who maybe is wondering what is bipolar 2. They want to hear from someone who's been diagnosed with it, what they go through. Maybe you have a friend or a family member who has been diagnosed. I just want to share my experience. Hopefully this video will be to someone else what I was looking for when I searched for bipolar 2 on YouTube. Main reason that I felt like, yeah, I could kind of have bipolar 2 disorder was my major shifts in my mood. So ever since I can remember, since like middle school, even high school, I would get these intense moments of euphoria. I mean, burst. I cannot explain it to this day. I heard somebody else describe it a nice way. They said it felt like you were waking up on Christmas morning and there was no cause for that feeling. It just kind of hits you and you just feel great. You feel amazing, or at least I did. During this time, I felt like I always constantly needed to be doing something. I was very excitable. My heart rate was going fast. I would stay up cleaning. My mind would just be racing of all the things that I could do or that I wanted to get done. And I'm actually in a hypomanic state right now, which might have something to do with me filming this video because, let's face it, I probably wasn't going to get around to it, but tonight my heart is going and I just need to get stuff done and I feel great. But I'm not in like a positive hypomanic state, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. I would stay up till 4 in the morning sometimes cleaning and doing laundry and stuff, which yes, that had to do with my OCD, but also hypomania symptoms are that you're not sleeping, you don't need to eat as much, you talk really fast, you want to constantly be doing something, your mind is going, you're getting all these great ideas, you feel like life is amazing and that you can do anything, and sometimes you overcommit. That has been my main problem with hypomania. I'll overcommit, I'll say I want to hang out with people, I'll say I'm gonna film this, I'm gonna do that, I start projects and then I don't end up finishing them. It can make me look like a flake, it can make me look like all these things, and that's something that I'm working with. I can remember distinct periods of time where I had this feeling. Now in high school I was a writer and I loved writing during these periods of time. My writing just flowed out from my veins, and it still does if I sit down and write when I'm in this kind of state. Words just sound better and everything feels like it has more meaning and life just feels like sparkly and wonderful and very intense and just, it's hard to explain. Some people like being in a hypomanic state. They seem to be productive, they get more done. Now you might be thinking, hey, that sounds great, so what's so bad about being in a hypomanic state? Well, there are downsides to it. Like I said, you can overcommit. Also, being in a hypomanic state isn't always the positive. You can be irritable, you can be snappy, you can be any of those things, but you're very uptense. Now, just because you have a lot of energy doesn't always mean it's happy energy. It can be negative energy where you don't know what to do with it and you have all this stuff going on inside of you and you just kind of feel like, I can't just like express this, I can't describe it, I have so much energy, all I want to do is relax, but I can't. That can also happen. And that's kind of what a state I'm in right now, and I'm trying to do something productive and make this video because I'm not gonna lie, I have so much energy. I went on a walk today with my baby. I walked like a mile to Ulta just because I had so much energy, and yeah, I don't know. You do things that you normally wouldn't do, like I said, spending money, shopping, etc. being promiscuous. Those are all things that can happen. Those hypomanic states can last any, I don't know, indefinite amount of time, but for me it usually lasts a few days. And then on the flip side, I will enter my depressive episode or state. I will crash. I will feel completely empty. I had so many good ideas and all of a sudden I feel like, why did I think I could do any of that? I'm never gonna get anything done. I'm never gonna progress in life. I'm never gonna be a good mother. I'm never gonna do anything. I'm never gonna reach any of my goals. I'm never gonna finish anything. I'm gonna feel like this forever. I'm gonna feel like shit forever, and all I wanna do is sleep. And that's what it feels like, at least for me, to be in a depressive episode. I don't wanna take care of myself. I hardly shower, and if I shower, it's because of my OCD and I don't wanna make something dirty. I don't really eat, and if I do end up eating, I eat something junk foody to kind of like combat my down feelings. So I comfort eat. I also do the bare minimum. So for me, what that looks like is maybe I don't go through my whole routine that I like to do normally on a good day, which is getting up, taking a shower, making breakfast, feeding Camden breakfast. Now, one thing I will say is I always make sure to take care of my son, and having mental illness and having a child doesn't mean that you can't be a good parent, because you can, okay? If anything, I'm coming last. My child always comes first and he's always taken care of, and I have made sure that my mental illness does not come in the way of taking care of my child, just to make that very, very clear. But it can feel so shitty, and there's no reason for the feelings. They just hit you and you don't know what happened. Nothing happened. One minute everything was fine, and the next minute you feel like honestly somebody died. There have been times where I've sat down on the bed with Adam and we were getting ready to go out on a date, and all of a sudden it just didn't sound fun, and he's asking me what's wrong, and I say, I don't know, I feel empty. Nothing excites me. I just feel completely like nothing. I feel nothing. And that is the scary part about the depressive episodes. My psychiatrist said I have something called rapid cycling bipolar 2, which means I can go through these states in a day. So where someone might have a hypomanic episode for a few days and then their depressive episode maybe for a few days or weeks, I can experience hypomania in the day and be in a depressed state by night. Now, I don't really know how it works, and since it does happen so fast for me, that's why I was thinking, hey, this might not be bipolar 2. But he told me that something exists called rapid cycling, and he thinks that that is likely what I have. Now, I want to get into the science of it. So apparently having bipolar 2 has something to do with dopamine. Let me look it up because I don't want to misspeak on this subject. So it says here, experts believe bipolar disorder is partly caused by an underlying problem with specific brain circuits and the functioning of brain chemicals called neurotransmitters. These brain chemicals, noradrenaline, serotonin, and dopamine are involved in both brain and bodily functions. So there's something called the dopamine hypothesis. It being caused by your brain producing too much or too little dopamine and not being leveled. I decided to take something for it. My psychiatrist recommended I start a mood stabilizer. It's called risperidone, and I have 0.5 milligram tablets. It says take 1 to 2 tablets by mouth every night at bedtime. Now, my psychiatrist said I could start off with half and work my way up, see what made me feel good without feeling too tired. I am at 1 tablet, so half wasn't enough. 1 tablet seems to be good. I'm thinking about going up to 1.5. Now, since I started this medication, it totally helps me for the most part. I sat down with Adam and I've told him, like, look, I feel like this medicine is helping me. I feel like I'm getting so much stuff done. Like, a few days ago, I made myself 3 meals in a day, and that's the first time I can remember that happening in literally years. I'm not joking. Either I was way too busy and hypomanic to make myself any food because there were too many other things to do, or I was too depressed and it just wasn't important. So I definitely feel like the medicine is helping me. However, there are things that can trigger episodes, specifically hypomanic episodes. One of those being caffeine, and I believe that I am in a triggered episode right now because earlier I had coffee and then I went to Starbucks and had a green tea latte and I had way too much caffeine, and I just know that it brought it on. They say other triggers can be alcohol, drugs, they say don't smoke weed, stuff like that. Now that I've kind of talked about what bipolar 2 is and the symptoms, is that what you would even say, or the signs or things that I experience with it, I want to get a little more personal and talk about, like, if you're experiencing these symptoms, what you should do or what you can do. Now, if you ever suspect that you're dealing with a mental illness, please go see a doctor. Go see a doctor, talk to your doctor, talk to a therapist, whatever you're able to do. Do not self-diagnose. That is just a road that you do not want to go down. Talk to a professional, get their opinion, get their help. They are educated most of the time and they know what they're talking about. And if you get somebody's opinion that you don't agree with, you can always get a second opinion. Do your research, you know, don't take a doctor's word for everything. Do what you can to find things out for yourself. If you have been diagnosed with bipolar 2, then it's up to you if you want to take medication or not. I know not everybody does. For me, I felt like it was the right choice, and I only made that decision because life was getting very hard to manage between the ups and downs of everything, and I have a son to raise. So being on medication was a positive and is a positive for me because it's allowing me to thrive and progress in my life. Everybody's situation is different. That's just how things worked out for me. Also, on days and nights where you're going through a hard time, hang in there. It helps sometimes when you get a diagnosis and you kind of know, like, hey, I have this thing that makes me do this and that's why I'm feeling this way. It's kind of like you're like spying on your body, or you're spying on your yourself, and you're like, hey, I know why you're doing that, and you can kind of separate yourself from what is happening. And you don't become the disorder, because that's very important to realize. Is just because you have a mental health disorder, you are not that disorder, and do not characterize yourself like only by that disorder, because there are so many other things that make you you. You don't want to cling on to that thing and have that be who you are, because that's not your identity, and there's a lot of other parts to yourself that you should explore and grow. It's just a part of you and your biology that should be worked through and managed, in my opinion. And also embraced, because there can be things to embrace with it. Like, for instance, for me, it has made me want to speak out about mental health more and hopefully help people. And it's also made me more understanding of other people who deal with mental health issues. So that's a positive from it. I'm making this video because like I said, I had caffeine, and I think that I triggered a hypomanic episode for myself today. I have been doing really good the past few days. Maybe I was already in a hypomanic episode and I didn't even realize it. Yesterday I made a pasta salad, and I used to hate cooking. All of a sudden I'm cooking a lot. So maybe today was just the switch where it went from the happy kind of hypomania to the not so happy, kind of more irritated and anxious hypomania, because as I was in my kitchen tonight, I just felt horrible and I didn't know why, and I told my boyfriend I want to put Camden to bed and I just want to cry, and I don't know why, and I'm feeling horrible and I'm feeling anxious and I have all this energy, but it's not happy energy. So I wanted to do something productive, and I wanted to make this video and just kind of open up the conversation. Like I said, I was only diagnosed a month or so ago, so I basically know not that much about this except for what I have experienced with it. I hope this video was informative or in some way helpful. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Feel free to comment down below, like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more content. Reach out to me if you need anything. I'm always here to talk to anybody that needs it the best that I can. I am a mother, but when I'm not doing mom things, I'm usually on my phone, and I do like to reply and talk to people. It can get lonely being a stay-at-home mom sometimes, so reaching out to people and connecting with other people is really valuable to me. So again, thank you for watching. Feel free to start a discussion below if you want to, or reach out to me. And like I said, I just hope this video was helpful and informative, and thanks for watching. Have a great night. Bye.